Hello and welcome people to one of the best rip-offs ever made. Gamera 2000.
Yes.
I have never heard of or seen this game before, so it'll be a treat.
Well, it's no wonder it was never released outside of Japan.
But you do know Gamera, right?
I do.
Good.
I actually got
At least
introduced
enough that I
to...
should.
I only got introduced to Gamera through this, and only because I was
The
looking...
level of magnetism is getting unusually high.
I couldn't
That's
tell if that
line.
was,
Oh, what's that?
I couldn't tell if that was French, Japanese, or English.
Yes, we're in for a treat. All of the cutscenes in the game are acted like this. The wonderful, wonderful live action with CG monsters.
Well, they have to be true to the source material, come on.
2000.
Yes. And although the title is Gamera 2000, the game was actually released in 1996.
Look at that hot babe.
Mm-hmm.
You would do that, Ryan.
Dat booty.
You can barely notice it near the jumpsuit.
I'd like to jump in her suit.
Oh my god, Ryan.
This woman has the best accent.
Indeed.
Dr. Mukanoki, what can you tell me about these fighters?
According to the data, the fighters seem to consist of cells that contain genes very similar to Gao's DNA.
Did they dub her in?
Sir.
No, this is all glorious English.
In 10 minutes.
We made contact with COC. Gamera is heading south at 30,000 feet and will reach the metropolitan area in 10 minutes.
Ah, her accent is just
The situation
So
tells us that Gamera is chasing after the
wonderfully
fighters that attacked the
fake.
headquarters last night. They have Gao's DNA. Lieutenant Morton, you and Dr. Mukanoki take the Harrier. Follow Gamera and recapture Gao's DNA.
I love how they're so inconsistent about pronouncing Gamera.
Dismissed.
Yes, sir.
well, this is why I wasn't sure how you write it.
Like, they say Gamera, Gamera, Gamerer. Like, it's like, what
I
the
just
heck?
go with Gamera.
It's like someone just holds up a picture of a camera and doesn't say anything.
Hmm.
Why do the menus fart whenever you select something?
Must be those burritos.
Early PS1.
This is the most realistic thing I've seen in video games.
The main character dude is amazing.
Yes, Captain.
He is!
With that intense stare.
Well, this is his acting debut. He's got to give it his all.
Oh,
This is probably the only thing he's done.
he's pretty
Is that
awesome.
what we call Gamera, Lieutenant?
That's right.
Look at the camera. That's right.
He's so
Oh.
intense.
It just makes me all tingly in all the right ways.
You can call me Jack, Dr. Mukanoki.
Call me Lisa. Nice to meet you, Jack.
The pleasure's all mine.
Now, all things considered, if this woman is actually Japanese, she speaks pretty good English.
Have you ever had
Yeah.
any shooting training?
Yes, of course. I also have a Class A international driver's license.
I don't believe you.
You're Japanese.
You're gonna need it.
But yeah, this is an adventure game. There is nothing more to it. Just
It's all
kidding.
just point and click. You just observe all the action.
Okay.
I feel like this should be on Sega
Long time no see,
CD.
Jack. Since your Navy days.
Good to see you, Harry.
It's nice to meet you, Dr. Mukanoki.
Well, so far it looks like something that could be on Sega CD.
Yeah,
It is. Probably
love
what
the
their
cut-
inspiration was, all those FMVs.
probably.
Yeah. All of the FMVs actually run at 15 frames, which is pretty impressive with how well they actually look.
Yeah.
Hey man. Plane. Also, you could have talked to what's his name again.
No, I don't think so. Because unless it flashes, it's not nothing. It's not anything
Well, it
new.
did briefly when you went over him earlier. Like when you're near the
Nah.
plane. Yeah.
Nah, it's like for the planes it flashes, but for the people, it stops flashing once they're out of their lines. But yeah, this is the actual meat of the game. We are only joking about it being an adventure game.
Welcome to Panzer Dragoon.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love that
Me-
Gamera knows perfectly where to aim and shoot based on where you're aiming and shooting.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that what turtles do?
Yes.
I mean, well, I did have 2 turtles, but yeah, they were in the sea kind, so they didn't know how to aim their lasers.
Jeez, you're getting hammered from all sides.
Yeah, I'm getting back. I'm getting used to the controls again.
This is some pretty rockin' music.
Yeah, the music's amazing. It has a lot of English lines in it for some reason.
Well, again, they gotta be true to the source material.
I guess. I mean,
Is
I
it
don't.
really true to the source material though?
Yes, because all of these kaiju movies always have really amazingly cheesy English dubs. Come on now.
I know. I feel like as time went on, they stopped doing that though.
I mean, it's kind of like
They should go back to doing that if they did.
it's kind of like Resident Evil. And here is the Gamera attack. You press and hold the button, and then yeah, you load the attack and unleash it. It's not actually very good.
Hitting them with a giant turtle is not effective.
Not really. I mean, it's really one thing that's kind of worse than what they have going on in Panzer Dragoon, because this does not give you invincibility, and it also makes it impossible for you to actually laser anything, because Gamera's busy spinning around.
Yeah.
He's out having a good time.
Yeah, it's only really good for the bosses, because then you have to spend some time yeah, waving around from left to right and shooting down the projectiles, because your non-lock shots do nothing. Like they do technically do damage, but it's like less than a pixel. It's barely noticeable. So just like with Panzer Dragoon, it's lasers all the way.
Yep.
But unlike Panzer Dragoon, every single type of shot is actually shoot-downable. And it's actually you can actually even shoot them down with Gamera's lasers, unlike it is in Panzer Dragoon, where where most of the projectiles you cannot get rid of with lasers. I am going to be comparing this game to Panzer Dragoon a lot, because they just outright ripped it off. But they did a freaking good job at it.
At least they ripped off something good.
Yeah, exactly, and something that there wasn't exactly many games of that
God, how do
particular
you
type.
fit that many missiles inside of a thing?
It's amazing. And it just exploded. I guess they were connected to its HP.
I'm sad the stage ended. I was really getting into that song.
Rejamming.
Yeah, I was, dude.
My favorite song is probably the final boss, although I absolutely hate the final boss.
Everyone does.
It's stupidly hard. It's not unbeatable hard, like, you know, you cannot find a pattern. It's just that it's really, really tight. But yeah, this game is, at least at the, concerning the normal difficulties, it's much harder than Panzer Dragoon.
Yeah, I can tell already.
Yeah. If you're, however, if you play it on easy, it's, yeah, it's very accessible. And for the most part, pretty much every playthrough I've seen online did that for the final boss.
Shoot down the civilian plane.
I was trying to. Not on this run, but on the other one. It's the civilian plane is just a thing in the environment that you cannot shoot down. Same goes for those ships, which makes me sad. And here they try to hide behind the bullets. They do that a lot. Thankfully, the rendering distance is pretty generous, so you can take care of enemies from really, really afar. However, you pretty much have to know what they are going to do, because they're just going to play with your expectations a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like, for example, they will just appear from left or right, and then they will just not really do anything. So you will look in that direction while the other ones swarm you from nowhere. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite songs.
It's groovy, I'll give it that.
Yeah. It's really good for an action game like this one.
You know, I'm noticing elements of Afterburner in this game as well. I think they had at least 2 sources of inspiration.
Well, probably. But Afterburner has, like, Panzer Dragoon has a lot from Afterburner too. Except, you know, Afterburner was not an RPG.
I wonder if there's a soundtrack available for this.
Ah, yes, there is. It's available online, but they changed some songs, and that's terrible, but I still prefer the in-game versions.
Better rip those in-game versions.
What's really funny is, like, the original soundtrack has like freaking 40 songs. This game is an hour long. But they also contain all of those.
Jesus. I mean, yeah, it's realistic if you were fighting something that much bigger than you, but still.
Yeah, it's masking the loading. Pretty clever, huh?
Yeah, I know. That said, now you're going into a forest of fucking celery, apparently.
Yeah, and here is the second boss of this level. That's another thing they do differently from Panzer Dragoon. A lot of levels will have multiple bosses. But thankfully this one is not too hard. Although Gamera does have a hard time keeping up with him. Wait up for me.
I'm trying my best.
I love how this boss so far is literally just flying in a circle like, what? Try and get me, Gamera, what's up?
Yeah, one good thing about the bosses is they will always do a certain sound effect whenever doing a certain attack. So even if you don't see them, you can expect that there is some projectile flying your way. And from the sound effect that you hear, you know which one it is.
this thing even gonna do anything? I've only seen it just kind of float around.
I mean, no, it shoots those little blue things like this one all the time.
Okay.
And it also shoots little homing spears from time to time.
Alright.
Like here.
Yeah, okay.
Thankfully, they're nice enough to actually keep it always within like your front view and not be like you have to constantly change the camera. I mean, you can do that, but it's much harder to actually keep track of him while changing the camera 300 degrees at the time. Just best to keep in the front view, because he's never going to attack you from the back.
I like to think the volcano was sentient and it was like, oh shit, the mech is dying. Well, better eat it.
Oh, protein.
That was